Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new movie Smashing Machine got a lot of really good positive attention early on coming out of the festival circuit, even getting a lot of Best Actor nomination at the Academy Awards for Dwayne Johnson buzz going, which is kind of shocking. I mean, I love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's one of my favorite entertainers, but I never would have believed that the terms Dwayne Johnson and Academy Award nominee would ever come out at the same time. Anyway, you guys remember last week we had to cover the monumental flopping of the movie as it only opened to about $6 million. Not 16, not 6D as in 60, but $6 million. Now, there was some talk and speculation that maybe with positive word of mouth, because the movie's quite good and all that kind of stuff, that more people will come out to see it. And given the fact that so few people saw it in week one, the opportunity for it to have a very small week 2 drop off was definitely there. Well, that didn't work out. As we look at the weekend box office charts, in its second weekend, Smashing Machine came in 8th place, making just $1.8 million. Let me say that again. In its second week, Smashing Machine came in 8th place, making just $1.8 million, taking a nearly 70% drop from weekend number 1.
Nearly, but actually
69, dudes.
Oh, but actually 69.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Well, 69.2.
Yeah.
But and then when you look at the big picture, when we look at Smashing Machine's overall box office performance, we take a look at this. So we see that it made like $6 million in its opening weekend, 5.8. Guys, after 2 weeks worldwide,
This is scary.
this movie has made $13.2 million.
Man.
That won't even cover Dwayne Johnson's dressing room trailer. Like, it won't even cover that, let alone his salary. I'm sure he took a big pay cut to do this movie, but still.
But for A24's current track record, this was not good at all.
No, there's no reality that you can paint this as anything but a disaster.
Yeah.
Because again, listen, when a movie makes like $150 million opening weekend, you can be okay with it taking like a 65% drop second weekend. Now, normally you want your second weekend drop to be between 50% and 60%. And anything more than that is concerning. But when a movie opens to like 120, 175, $200 million, it taking a 65% drop on the second weekend isn't that concerning because so many people already went out to go see it. So obviously you're going to have a little bit, maybe potentially higher second weekend drop off. But this movie, nobody went to go see it.
No.
Like nobody went to go see it opening weekend. And you'd think with word of mouth and stuff like that buzzing around, you'd think its second weekend, it would have a really competitive, maybe a 40% drop, maybe a 30% drop. But instead, it almost takes a 70% drop. So, you know, we kind of got to revisit the question again about what went wrong. Because clearly they made a good movie, right? They clearly made a good movie. So, are the options, and these are the ones we covered before after its opening weekend, but let's revisit it here. Is it that the subject matter just didn't interest people? I think there's a high percentage of that because, first of all, you're only really going to appeal mostly to MMA fans,
right?
And there's only so many of us out there. But even within MMA fans, I would venture to guess 85% of MMA fans didn't know the name Mark Kerr.
Because he was early in the...
He was early.
Yeah. And back a lot of this is... Yeah. I was going to say
back when Hoist Gracie was like tapping out Kimbo. I mean, it was, or fighting Tank Abbott, or, you know, like those guys, the early Ken Shamrock days. A lot of people had, even people who remember those days.
Yeah.
They don't remember Mark.
This is going back to the 90s. So,
yeah. So there's that option was the pure subject matter. The other option was, it's just over for Dwayne Johnson. That like nobody wants to see a movie with Dwayne Johnson. I don't think that's it. I'm just saying that's one of the options there. A third option is that people want to see Dwayne Johnson, but they want to see him doing Dwayne Johnson kind of things.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mando. All right, guys, listen, fall's here, football season, yard work, those long work days, and yeah, that means sweat. But here's the thing, staying fresh doesn't have to be a battle. You guys know I've been using Mando, that's Mando, and this stuff actually works. Now, you know, I've been telling you guys about Mando for a while now, and when I first started using it, I wasn't sure what to expect, but Mando totally surprised me. It's not just a nice scent, it stops odor before it starts. And the sweat control, on point. I can go through a full show day, go hit the gym, and I'll still be dry. And I love that it pulls double duty with one stick that handles both odor and sweat. No reapplying, no nonsense. And it's long lasting, lasting up to 72 hours. So here's the deal. Mando's got a starter pack that's perfect if you're new. You get their solid stick, the cream tube, 2 free extras like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And right now, you can get 20% off site-wide when you use my code Campea at shopmando.com. Again, that's shopmando, shopmando.com, code Campea for 20% off plus free shipping. So do yourself a favor and stay fresh this fall. Control body odor anywhere with Mando. It's not magic, it's science.
You know, last time we talked about this, Jonathan, I likened it unto Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Where like Robert Downey Jr. was flying high. He was at his peak in the MCU. And then he did this movie, The Judge, which was a pretty good movie. And nobody went to go see it. But Robert Downey Jr. is one of the biggest movie stars. I think people only want to see Robert Downey Jr. being Tony Stark. And
double-edged sword. I am curious because there's one character that he does that is still pretty popular, and that's Sherlock Holmes. Would people come out for Sherlock Holmes? You know?
I mean, yeah, and Sherlock Holmes also had Jude Law, and I liked Sherlock Holmes a lot. I still keep my fingers crossed that at some point they'll do a third Sherlock Holmes film.
Yeah.
But all that's to say that I think it's mostly has to do with the subject matter. But even if it is just the subject matter that kept people away, it's enough for us to officially say the era of just putting Dwayne Johnson in a movie will dramatically increase its box office. Because like not all of his films were big hits, but if you look at a movie of his like Rampage, if anybody else starred in that movie except Dwayne Johnson, it would have made a lot less money. Yeah. You can look at, what was his Building on Fire movie? Was it Inferno? Was that the name of that movie?
It was like a take on Towering Inferno.
Yeah, I think it was called Inferno. Anyway, unless somebody in the live chat corrects me, I'll go with Inferno. But like, or Skyscraper. That was the name
that's
of
what it was. Inferno was Tom Hanks.
Bowie in the live chat was the first one to say it. Thank you, Bowie. That movie didn't make huge box office, but I guarantee you, if anybody else had starred in that movie other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it would have made significantly less.
Yeah.
So there was definitely
San Andreas, same thing.
Yeah, that San Andreas is another great example. I mean, you put anybody else in there other than Dwayne Johnson, it makes less money than it did. So there was definitely a long period of time that just putting Dwayne Johnson in your movie guaranteed a certain percentage of a bump in its box office. That day is over. That day's over. I'm not saying I'm any less of a big fan of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm still a big Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan, man, and I always will be. But you got to call it as you see it. The days of just putting him in it automatically means people will rush out to see it, or just putting him in it automatically means that your movie will make 35% more at the box office than it would have otherwise. Because you can make the argument, well, do you think less people would have come to see Smashing Machine if it was anybody other than Dwayne Johnson? No, I don't. I think if you put another good actor in there,
right, just
a good actor, I think it makes roughly the same amount of money because it couldn't possibly make much less.
Not much less. And the marketing was really around, you know, he is a shoo-in for a nomination for the Oscars. You've never seen The Rock like this before. And that is true. That's all true. But
yeah,
I think when you mix in the fact that not enough MMA fighters really are interested in Mark Kerr because they're more into the more modern stuff, it's very heavy. It's about drug abuse. It's about a toxic relationship. It's not really a Rocky story. And then, like you said, are enough people out there wanting to see that? in The Rock. I was, and I thought it was a great movie. I think it fell short a little bit here and there, but it was still a great movie. I really...
Here's the thing. The marketing made two key mistakes, I think. We kind of touched on one before, but I'll bring it up again. Key mistake number one is something you just alluded to, which was most of the marketing felt like, look, everybody, can you believe that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yeah.
Like that seemed to be the whole backbone of their marketing campaign. And then the second big mistake they made with the marketing, and Rob and I talked about this last week, was the fact that when you watch the marketing, I have no sense about who this movie is for.
Yeah.
Like they never really identified who is this movie for? Who did they make this? By the way, this picture of Mark Kerr, he looks a lot more like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle might have been a better choice to play. But I mean, so number one, the whole marketing just seemed to be, look how different Dwayne Johnson looks. And secondly, the marketing never did a good job of really identifying, or even the studio itself never did a good job identifying who was their target demographic. Who were they going after for this movie? And I think those things hurt it as well.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just a really disappointing result for this film.
I didn't think this movie was going to be huge. I just thought by now we'd be looking at 30 to 40 million. And this is a shocker to me.
Yeah, like I never thought Smashing Machine would make $300 million, or anything like that. But 13 million after 2 full weeks. I mean, I don't even know if it's going to get to $18 million at this point. So anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Dwayne Johnson's movie, I mean, I think we can put the tombstone on it now. It's done. It first of all had a tragically flopping opening weekend, and now taking a massive nearly 70% dive in its second weekend, making only about $1.7 million. It's really unfortunate. What do you attribute it to? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.